Alright, well, it's Sunday. Time for a new week here. Checking this trap a minute. I'll say I got wasps everywhere because of the fish. But nothing in the trap. Either the skunk is just too trap smart, or it has moved on. Almost thinking because of the way this hole is. I don't know. Really don't know. I don't know if it's still there or not. I guess we'll find out later. I'll throw a trail cam back up again. I gotta mow the yard first. This grass is getting pretty thick. Go ahead and mow this grass a minute and then figure out what I'm gonna do for the rest of the week. And I'm getting wore out with working 10-hour days throughout the week. Last week was 11-hour days for 2 days because boss man wanted those 2 extra hours. He only pays 8 hours of holiday pay. Whatever. I guess I got a bit of a change in plans here. The tensioner pulley on this thing is bound up. It's been for a minute. I've been able to kick it and get it to unbind, but it's not unbinding right now. So now I got to take the motor deck off so I can get to the pulley and fix it. Alright, I got this back to where I can at least push the foot pedal and it comes back. Springs back now. I took the whole plate underneath. I realized after I did that you really don't have to, and I'll show you what you could easiest way to do this. At least what I found anyways when I was dealing with it. Alright. The easiest way is this bolt right here is what this whole thing pivots on. So the easiest thing to do would be to get a can of PB Blast and just spray underneath this arm right here. Just spray it right directly in line with that bolt, and then work this pulley back and forth if you can, because that's what's pivoting. There's another pulley back here underneath this that the belt sits on too. This right here would be the main cause of all that grass built up. My suggestion would be is to save time, just clean the mowers off when you're done. I don't do that, and that's where it got me. But yeah, there's the grass inside the mower itself too, I can see right behind the wheels, or the rear wheels. But we'll put this all back together now and get back to mowing. It was slipping. It wasn't engaged enough, so it was slipping, so I couldn't go up hills. I mean, even the tiniest hill was struggling. So I limped it over to the driveway so that way I could get to my tools and get it worked on. Get it PB blasted and able to move a lot smoother. We're good to go now. Now I just got to get it back together and we'll get back to mowing. And then I'll go from there what I want to do for the week. Oh yeah, I still got to put that milky spore down too, so I might do that today. Alright, here we are, Friday morning. Gonna do grocery shopping. Just gotta wait for Walmart to open up. Still gotta get some used to this. Used to be a 24-hour store, and now you gotta wait for it to open. And COVID's over. New times, I guess. But after that's done, I gotta go over to Stevens. We gotta pull his transmission out so we can change his bell housing, because his pump went out in his bell housing, so his transmission just completely stopped. So go over there after done grocery shopping, so it shouldn't take me that long. Go work on a little bit until Harbor Freight opens, then we'll go to Harbor Freight. Gotta pick a few things up to help us out, and I'll pick another thing up for a project for work. Yeah. Beyond that, that's today's plans. Let's see what the rest of the weekend brings after we do this bell housing. Alright, I got my grocery shopping done here, and I'm here at Stevens ready to work on his truck. I don't know if he's up yet or not. yeah, this is gonna be fun. At least this truck's jacked up a little higher. So it's easier to crawl underneath. This is the truck in question. And get underneath there and get the transmission out so we can replace the bell housing in it. That we got to pull the drive shaft, the transfer case. There's a section of the exhaust that's got to be removed. There's some cross members that got to be taken out that are holding up the transmission. Yeah, I got to go to Harbor Freight to get a transmission jack. That's one thing that I need to be able to lower his transmission down. Yeah, a little bit of work needs to be done yet. It's gonna take us a little bit. Well, we finally started working on the truck. Can't get the nuts off the exhaust flange, so we're just gonna cut the exhaust off right underneath the transmission. Hopefully the rest of it goes a little smoother.
3 hours later.
It's supposed to be an 8-hour job, so yeah, 3 hours would be nice. Yeah. Had to cut a chunk of exhaust out because we couldn't reach the, well, we could reach them, but can't turn them. They were rusted in there pretty good, so we just cut a section of the exhaust out. Now I'm working on the drive shaft, trying to get that out. Well, the only place we can actually use the creeper. Alright. Those bolts right there. I gotta get those out. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Yeah. I'm a little close. Creeper just doesn't work very well on this. Ugh. At least I can use it to do the drive shaft, but everything else I can't.
Rounding, like it's just spinning around it.
Yeah, we tried. We even had Jaden underneath there trying to get them. He got half of them out. They rounded off and rusted in. So, off to the shop it goes. Here we got the 5-drawer U.S. General tool cart. Picked it up for work. Here's a video on how to assemble. I got lucky. That's the casters. You just do the same thing the whole way around. I'm not going to show you putting every single one of them on. It can be ridiculous. One thing I did notice though is you want to make sure they're straight, because they will go on crooked. Alright, next thing up after we put the rubber mat back in here, put this corner post up. Do all four of them. It's just four of these bolts. Four washers. Four nuts. I'm assuming they've had people mess up on this so many times because they got a thing that says up. So that goes to the top. Yeah. on, you piece. This is the same thing, the other two on the other side. I did the one previous just to see how well it would work. Oh, it works great. Easy to do. So once this is done, though, the most complicated part we're going to have is having to grab that box, lift it up, and put it inside to bolt that top on. We'll get to that when we get to it. I was on the phone with Steven there for a minute, and he got somebody that's willing to trade their labor for some fishing lures. Interesting. I really heard of anybody doing that, but hey, if it works, it works. They're happy to want the lures, and he's getting his transmission stuff done, and by all means, this is how the world should work. Alright, I was on the phone with Steven at the moment. Put these bolts in for the side bracket. I got a side bracket on the other side, and then the front and back ones. There's the support brackets. It's just one bolt each side for all of them. But I would suggest putting those in loosely, because I did notice one side was in further, one side was out further. So once you put the toolbox on, you're gonna have to move it around until eventually it gets into place, and then I would tighten those down afterwards. I think I'm gonna have to get my nephew, once I get the rest of this done to the point where the box has got to go on, because that box is heavy. I was gonna try and do it myself, but even the book tells you don't do that. You get seriously injured if you do something wrong. Do the short pieces first. We got 2 bolts already. Washers. Same thing, front and back. It's just a little longer is all. Yeah. Those look nice. These are all nice hardware, everything. I guess I won't be doing a different video. Steven just got a hold of me. He ended up getting those bolts out of his drive axle, so there's a drive shaft. My brain's a little loopy at the moment. I'm tired, but I got it done. This I have it locked right now, but one thing I did notice is after getting the sides tightened in and having to twist and get it lined up, we still got just a tiny bit off. You can definitely tell it in the lid too, because you got to push down on that one corner over there in order to get it to go all the way down to be able to lock it. But beyond that, she's done. She's together. I guess we'll just have it all in one video, and I'm going back over to Steven's to help him with his bell housing in a minute. Yep, Steven got those bolts loose, so we got the rear drive shaft out. Got the front drive shaft loose and out from the one end, but not out of the transfer case yet. Working on the cross member right now. Had to pull out the big guns. Yeah, we're getting somewhere right now. Well, we had to run to Harbor Freight quick a minute because we needed a 21mm wrench. Now that we got 21mm wrench, now we're going to try and get this thing over here. Yeah, this next day here, it got dark last night. I forgot the video after that. We called it quits. It got dark, and he's got somebody that's going to do it the rest of the way. But at least we got the rear drive shaft out. We got the front drive shaft loose. We got the bolts knocked loose for the cross member underneath the transmission. Yeah, this is where I'm going to end it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Till next time.